Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. This week we are going to make a pepperoni pizza. We're gonna go through every single step from the sauce to the actual making of the dough. It's going to be a recipe that's actually fairly simple to make at home, so you don't need that much, so let's go. Okay, step one, we're going to work on the sauce. So when you make a pizza sauce, it's actually a raw sauce. So we're actually not going to cook the tomatoes. I'm using San Marzano from Italy. The reason why is because they're not too acidic and a little bit sweet. So it will make our, we're not gonna get that super acidic taste. To my tomatoes, I'm going to add a bit of garlic powder. I have some dry marjoram. I'm going to add a couple leaf of oregano. So probably 2 stalks. And some fresh basil. If you want, you can actually use dry herbs as well. I prefer fresh. I'm just going to throw about 10 leaves. Then I'm going to add a bit of black pepper and some salt. From here, all I'm going to be doing is blitzing it.
The key here is to get a really smooth consistency, so when we spread the tomato sauce later on the pizza, we won't run into any trouble.
And just like that, we have our tomato sauce. From here, all I'm going to be doing is wrapping it up and leave it aside for about an hour because I want this flavor to develop and to get like all the herbs and all the fragrance coming in. So next step, we'll be making the pizza dough. Okay, step 2, our tomato sauce is now resting. We're going to work on the pizza dough. So first, I'm going to put my warm water into my bowl with my yeast. And to help the yeast develop, we're going to add some sugar. And we're going to mix all that. And we're going to let it work out for about 5 minutes. Okay, now I'm going to take my flour and create a well. I like to use a ladle and kind of from the center push it back. So you want to make sure you take some space. You make a large one. And I'm going to take my salt, kind of bring it together like that. Now we're just going to wait about 3 to 4 minutes just for the yeast to develop, and then we'll come back.
We are now going to add the yeast and water mixture in the center of the well and start to mix some of the flour with the water. We're going to do that until a ball of dough starts to form. We will then use our second hand to start kneading the dough until we get a smooth and elastic consistency. We basically are working the gluten, which will create that nice chew on the pizza when we are cooking it. Pour some olive oil in a dish and place the dough to rise.
Okay, so now we're going to work on the stretching of the dough. So my dough has been raising for about half hour. We're not looking for something extra, which makes sure it's relaxed. So I'm gonna start with some flours. I'm gonna make sure there's flour on our surface, always very important. Then we're gonna take our dough and remove it. And then now what we wanna make sure is we create an edge. So we're gonna take the center and then push it out without crushing the edges.
We are looking to stretch the dough as wide as possible without breaking it. We are working towards getting that thin crust type of pizza. So you will basically pull the dough by rotating the pizza in your hand by using the natural weight of the pizza. You can also throw it in the air like you don't care, but that's optional.
Okay, so now I'm happy with the stretch of the dough, so we're gonna move it onto the pizza pan. And we're gonna take our sauce that we made earlier. We wanna make sure that we don't put too much of the ingredients. If it's too wet, it's going to break down. So we're just gonna take about a ladle, put it in the center, and we're gonna roll it around. Make sure we get pretty much 1 inch off the edges. Now that we have the sauce, I'm going to add the cheese. So I got some beautiful mozzarella. And I'm gonna go generous, right? We don't want to cheap out on mozzarella. Make sure it's everywhere, wherever the tomato sauce is. We just want to make sure the outside are clean.
We really want to make sure that we spread that cheese evenly.
Okay, now that our cheese is on, I'm going to add the pepperoni. So in this case, I'm using a salami. And then from here, all we gotta do is cook it. So I do have a pizza oven, I'm very lucky. But if you do not at home, basically just crank your oven on baking and as high as possible. So 500 degrees is absolutely fine. We're gonna be cooking the pizza from anywhere from 2 minutes to 4 minutes based on your settings.
And if you don't have a pizza oven, place it on a baking tray in your 500 degrees oven for 12 to 15 minutes.
All right, I've heard the magic noise, so it's now time to get the pizza out of the oven. Well, let me tell you, it's gonna be fantastic.
I really wish you could taste this. The chewy dough mixed with the richness from the cheese and the sweetness from the tomato sauce, topped up with that pepperoni goodness, just wow.
And that is it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, you can check any of my other ones. In the meantime, I will catch you on the next episode.